Did you just feel an earthquake and you want to check and see if it triggered a Jumpstart payment? Here's how anyone can look up that data. First, you navigate to the USGS earthquake site for that particular earthquake. Here's what it looks like for the magnitude 5.5 that occurred near Ridgecrest, California on June 3rd. Usually this is one of the first websites that pops up in an internet search. So on the upper left here, you want to click on Interactive Map. But before we go there, I want to show you on the upper right the Did You Feel It, which is how citizens can contribute to science and tell the USGS what their experience of the earthquake intensity was. So it'll take you to a page like this, and if you click on this link right here, it'll take you to a survey that takes about 3 minutes to complete. So if we go back to the interactive map, it looks like this. So on the upper left, you want to zoom in, and then once you're zoomed in, you go on the upper right. This is a selection of what data you can see on the map. Check this box to be able to see the peak ground velocity data at any given point on the map. So first, before we get to the PGV contours, I want to show you that you can change the background. So the default is the topographic background, but you can also change it to see a street view or an aerial view. So now, going back to the topographic map, for this earthquake, we can see that the maximum peak ground velocity was 42 centimeters per second, which exceeds Jumpstart's payment trigger of 30 centimeters per second. If we hover on any one of those white contours and then click on it, we can see what is the peak ground velocity associated with that contour. Here near the epicenter, there is a contour that's 30 centimeters per second. But if we go up here near the Air Force Base and you want to check out what was the peak ground velocity near my house, then you can hover on the nearest white line, and this one is, in this example, 24 centimeters per second. Now let's go back and see about that Did You Feel It data. So we go back to the menu on the upper right and we uncheck the PGV contours and we check the DYFI 1 kilometer grid. DYFI stands for Did You Feel It? This is what it looks like. This is the scale that's being shown on the color coding for both the Did You Feel It and the color-coded contours that you saw. The peak ground velocity is this line right here, and this is the data that Jumpstart uses for its trigger. So you can see that the 30 centimeter per second trigger is in between very strong and severe shaking. And you can also see up here near the Air Force Base that the felt reports of shaking intensity was in this yellow intensity level, which corresponds to strong shaking. But if you go over to Indian Wells, the folks over there reported a shaking intensity that is then classified as light or moderate. That's how you figure out the PGV, and that's what the PGV means in terms of intensity. Thanks for listening.